The Document Strategy Podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Visit audibletrial.com/document for a free audiobook download and a free trial membership. Choose from over 150,000 audiobooks. Get your free download at audibletrial.com/document. Welcome to the Document Strategy Podcast, where we reach worldwide to talk to thought leaders, innovators, and subject matter experts to explore technologies and strategies that break new ground in business performance. I'm your host, Kevin Crane. Welcome to the show. I'm pleased to welcome Pete Basiliere to the broadcast. Pete is Research Vice President for the Imaging and Print Services Division at Gartner, the well-known technology research and advisory firm. He's the author of 2 books, Effective Print Buying and Diversifying with Mail and Fulfillment, but that's not why he's here. More recently, Pete has been following developments in the area of 3D printing, and he's regarded as one of the industry's leading authorities on 3D printing, conducting research and providing analysis and insights. He writes a popular blog on the subject at blogs.gartner.com. Pete Basiliere, welcome to the show. Most of us are familiar with conventional 2D printing, putting an image on a page, but what exactly is 3D printing?
Well, 3D printing is what has historically been referred to as additive manufacturing. And while some of the technologies that are involved with 3D printing are actually very similar to 2D printing, that's not the entire case. But fundamentally, at Gartner, we define 3D printing as an additive technique that uses a device to create physical objects from digital models. And that basically is saying that it's a technique where we are essentially stacking layers, as some people call it, where we're building the part one layer at a time. The device is the 3D printer. Physical objects are the result of it, and they come from digital models, 3D models that the printer, just as a 2D printer does, interprets and then guides the imaging technology to build the part.
How is that different from other types of manufacturing and machining, like computer numerical control machines and processes?
Oh, good question. It's a significant difference. The technology that you just referred to is what we refer to as subtractive technology. So in other words, you take a block of metal or a block of plastic or a block of wood, and you whittle away at it. You use the computer numerically controlled machine to, drill into it, mill it, turn it, what have you, and you're reducing it. You're taking away material from what you started with. So that'd be subtractive manufacturing technologies. Related traditional technologies include casting as well as molding, which a lot of people associate with injection molding.
I'm speaking with Pete Basiliere, an analyst at Gartner and an expert in emerging 3D printing technologies. It's time for a short break, but when we get back, I'm going to ask Pete about how 3D printing is being used in a variety of industries and what that means for businesses and consumers on the horizon. So stick around. We'll be right back in 60 seconds. For nearly 20 years, Crawford Technologies has been providing innovative and award-winning solutions for high-value, high-volume documents and information. Just one example is their ECM output management solution, Riptide, which has been winning all kinds of awards this year. Riptide provides the ability to output content from different and varied ECM repositories and deliver those documents for output in print, fax, email, PDF, and more. Visit crawfordtech.com for more information. That's Crawford, TECH.com.
You're listening to the Document Strategy Podcast.
Welcome back. I'm with Pete Basiliere, an expert in 3D printing technologies. Pete, what are some of the most promising applications currently available with 3D printing?
There's a wide range of applications, and when I'm presenting to an audience, I oftentimes say, challenge me. Give me the name of your business, the type of industry that you're working in, and I can find a use for a 3D printer or the output from a 3D printer in your business today. In terms of what most excites me personally, it's the medical device field. And it's partly, no question, because I'm wearing 3D printed hearing aids as we speak. So literally the speaker housing, if you will, the piece that goes into my ear canals, left and right, were printed with a 3D printer. And all the major hearing aid manufacturers actually use 3D printing technology, either to make the housing for the in-the-ear hearing aid, where it's all one unit with electronics, battery housing, microphone, and speaker, similar to what you might see on a performer on stage, someone that's with a rock band. Or in the case of mine, where it's a traditionally manufactured part behind the ear, but the speaker resides in a housing that was 3D printed. That kind of use case, dental implants and such, prosthetics, I like all things. And that's what gets me really excited about it, because even though a lot of people think of, we're building cars or we're building aircraft components with 3D printers, and that's true, really the truly life-altering applications of 3D printing are in the medical device field.
I was interested to read that Gartner says that the application of 3D printing will ignite a major debate on ethics and regulation, and that's in relation to the development of 3D bioprinters that may be used to produce living tissue and organs. What is that debate, and where does Gartner come down on the issues?
We predicted that by 2016 that there will be this debate. What is happening, Kevin, is that there's tremendous amounts of research going on in not only additive manufacturing, but bioprinting worldwide. And most of the research that's being done in bioprinting is being done in universities, other higher education institutions, government labs. There's a handful of companies that are doing work with 3D printers. Organovo, which was a Gartner Cool vendor, last year is a good example, and that's a publicly held company that is developing a proprietary printer that will enable it to do tests for pharmaceutical companies and other kinds of clients. But there's also work being done where researchers are combining cellular material from a range of animals and humans, as well as animals and humans. Sorry, and my point is that for some people that's not an issue. For some people, they don't have a concern about blending human and, say, canine or bovine cells into the same organ. But there will be people, when you look at this globally, who have ethical or moral, religious or political concerns about the use of cells from different animals to produce organs that might be put into a human being. And so that's why we say that bioprinting, which is under the radar today of many people, could cause this global debate within the next couple of years.
I see, similar to genetically altered food, cloning, and stem cell research.
Exactly, you're spot on. And that's something that we make these kinds of predictions in order to help folks understand that this could be happening. It will impact the development of the industry, and as such, it's an important element when they consider perhaps investing in a manufacturer, or certainly investing in equipment provided by a company that is building 3D, in this case, bioprinters.
So 3D printing is quite a different technology and produces quite a different product or outcome than the type of 2D or traditional printing that most folks think about when you say the word printing. What should printing and graphic communications professionals make of 3D printing? How will 3D printing, or will it, affect the printing and communications industry?
Well, I've been in the printing and mailing industry for 35 years, including my time here with Gartner, and I still think of myself first as a printer. I've got a lot of ink and toner in my veins, and at this point in time, printing companies need to be evaluating the potential in their local market, given the nature of their client bases exist today. There are some companies that are using 3D printers. Braintree Printing out of Massachusetts has one, and they have set this up as printing for the trade, which is something that we've always had, right? We've always had trade binderies and other kinds of institutions that supported printing companies. On the other hand, you've got Unisource, which uses the M-Core Technologies 3D printer, which, by the way, prints with paper, has two Epson inkjet heads that print simultaneously both sides of the sheet, very much like a blanket-to-blanket press does. And they're using the M-Core technology at Unisource in order to more closely replicate the packaging materials that they're designing for their customers. So I think the important thing at this point in time for a firm in the graphic communications field is to realize that their customers are intrigued by the idea. There could be opportunities in helping with prototyping, helping with packaging, and other areas, and it's well worth the investment in time, if not initially money, but certainly the investment in time to understand the different technologies that comprise 3D printing and how they might bring those to bear and benefit their customers.
We're discussing 3D printing with my guest, Pete Basiliere, an analyst at Gartner and an expert in emerging 3D printing technologies. It's time for a quick break, but when we get back, I'm going to ask Pete where some of the familiar 2D printing vendors play in the world of 3D. So stick around. We'll be right back with this episode of the Document Strategy Podcast. Do you have great ideas but need expert writing skills to make them leap from the page? Do you have a great product or service that needs better exposure to new customers, potential partners, or the media? Crane Communications Group is a strategic communications agency focused on the document management and customer communications industries. Expert writing and editing, audio success stories and custom podcasts, and dependable and professional, industry-focused expertise and service. There is no other writing and communications agency with more expertise in the industry. Find out more today at cranegroup.com. That's C-R-A-I-N-E, cranegroup.com. For nearly 20 years, Crawford Technologies has been providing innovative and award-winning solutions for high-value, high-volume documents and information. Just one example is their ECM output management solution, Riptide, which has been winning all kinds of awards this year. Riptide provides the ability to output content from different and varied ECM repositories and deliver those documents for output in print, fax, email, PDF, and more. Visit crawfordtech.com for more information. That's Crawford, Tech.com.
You're listening to the Document Strategy Podcast.
Welcome back. My guest today is Pete Basiliere, an analyst at Gartner, and we're discussing recent innovations in 3D printing. Pete, some well-known 2D printing vendors like Canon, HP, and Xerox are getting into 3D and producing 3D printing technology, but they're not always putting their names on it. Why is that?
I think that the major reason is that the market for 3D printers today is really the opposite of market for 2D printers. We're all familiar with the razor blade, the cartridge concept that drives the revenue for 2D digital printers. They sell the printer and then make a lot of money on the annuity stream that comes from the inks. Well, today's market is such that there aren't that many 3D printers that are actually sold. In 2012, we estimated that a grand total of 38,000 printers of all kinds were sold worldwide, whereas our research at Gartner on 2D printer market indicates that nearly 300,000 2D printers are sold every day worldwide. So the model is dramatically different, and because of that, the 2D printer manufacturers have been hesitant to put their name on a box. Now, some of the audience may know that in the past, HP had a program where for 2 years, from 2010 to 2012, they were selling Stratasys printers branded as HP DesignJet. And now they're making noise about coming back to the market in later this year. But that was a limited use case where they were talking about selling printers into engineering organizations as well as architecture and construction firms. So right now the market is such that the volume is so low that the likes of HP and Xerox, which are technology providers, and indeed Xerox has been providing technology to 3D printer companies for 17 years. Their best role right now is to be an OEM and to see how the market shakes out while they continue to do create advances in material sciences that are applicable to 3D printing.
Gartner's coverage of 3D printing blossomed in the last 18 months, but Gartner has been covering this space for a number of years. Where can folks go to find out more about Gartner's research and recommendations on 3D printing?
Well, our website is very simple. It's Gartner.com. And whether you're a client or a non-client, you can get access to the research there. Clients will receive it as part of their subscription. Non-clients may have to pay for the individual piece, but the research, which, as you point out, Kevin, has grown significantly over the last couple of years, is available there. Today, our analyst community of 50 people are writing and researching the 3D print market worldwide, looking at not only the different technologies and the technology providers, but also the opportunities and market trends in various vertical markets.
That's Pete Basiliere, Gartner analyst and an expert on 3D printing technologies. Visit his blog at blogs.gartner.com. And that'll do it for this episode of the Document Strategy Podcast. If you'd like to reach us at the show, it's easy. Just go to document-strategy.com. Visit our author's store, give us feedback and suggestions, and you can find links to subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. They're all there. And if you like what we do, why not leave a review on iTunes? We appreciate your help in spreading the word about this show. Otherwise, join us next time when we continue to explore technologies and strategies that break new ground in business performance. I'm your host, Kevin Crane. Thanks for listening.